Hello, welcome everybody. Welcome back if you were able to join us at noon and 1 o'clock. And welcome if you haven't and you're here for the first time. In celebration of the Day of the Dead, the DIA, is taking a deep dive into its special exhibition, Ofrendas, celebrating El Dia de Muertes, with an artist talk featuring the artists who did the altars that are on display in the exhibition. If you have been able to see the exhibition in person, that's awesome. If not, it is still on view through November 8th. So you can come on down to the DIA to check it out. And we do our best to make it as safe as possible amid the COVID pandemic. And if not, this is also the DIA's first offering of a fully accessible online exhibition. So you can visit our website, dia.org/Ofrendas2020, and then you can view the entire exhibition online. And we are excited to have some of the artists with us today to talk about their pieces in depth. Earlier today, we had our partner, the Mexican Consulate, talk about the Day of the Dead. So if you'd like to view that information, you can always go back a little further down our feed to watch that video again. And as this video goes on, as our artist talks, if you have a question that if something sparks your interest, or if you have a question about a specific altar or a question in general about the Day of the Dead, feel free to just type it in the comment section on Facebook or YouTube as you view. And after all of the artists have talked about their pieces, we'll jump to your questions. And so the artists will be able to respond directly to any of the questions that you may put in the comment section. I do want to thank all of our Wayne, Oakland, and Macomb County residents for your generous millage support. For without your support, we would not be able to hold this exhibition nor hold programs like this. So thank you so much for supporting your art museum and supporting local artists. So without further ado, I would like to send it over to the first artist who will be speaking today, Higo. Hi, Higo. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Could you tell us a little bit about your piece that's on display in the exhibition?
Yes, absolutely. Well, good afternoon to everybody, and thank you for attending my presentation. I want to thank the Detroit Institute of Art and Miss Emily for the opportunity to be here for fourth time, enjoying being part of the traditional celebration of the life of our loved ones. We are a team. I am Igo Gavarron, and with my partners, Lorraine Rancho and Rachel Martinez-Finn, have created this ofrenda. It is called The Healing Art of Resilience. Let me talk about the title. Resilience is an attitude. It's the capacity that human beings have to face and overcome adverse situations. In our ofrenda, the ability to find strength has been represented by the possibility to rejoin the cracked pieces of our broken hearts, symbolized by the moons, after we have lost loved ones. Along the sides, we have pictures of our loved ones, elongated candles made of paper mache, and a pathway of paper marigold flowers, named cempasúchitl flowers, which are used in the ofrendas in Mexico. At the center, a woman is walking with her arms reaching upwards toward the sky. She is carrying a moon whose cracks have been repaired with the kintsugi technique. In the Japanese art of the kintsugi, broken pottery is repaired with gold, giving the object both new life and beauty. In our ofrenda, the woman directs her steps to a giant moon situated at the corner section. This giant moon is also decorated with the kintsugi technique. We use the kintsugi technique to represent our resilience. As it happens in shattered pottery, our broken hearts and souls can be restored with the gold of time, love, friendship, memories, and prayer. Through a life of resilience and healing, our golden scars can make each person unique and treasured. In our case, resilience is one of the essential life lessons that we all receive from our loved ones that we celebrate with this ofrenda. Thank you again.
Thank you, Higo. And next, we're going to go to Maria Saldana.
Hi.
Hi, Maria. About your piece?
Yes, I decided to do a piece to honor the grandparents of my husband and myself. Um, I had my grandfather passed away February of this year, and I decided it was a great opportunity to honor his life as well as everybody else. So a little bit about how I created my ofrenda. Along the top, you can see the arch that is made out of cempasúchil flower. It's said that the cempasúchil flower, because of its vibrant color and its strong aroma, helps their souls and guides them towards the ofrenda. As well as the candles that you see all throughout the ofrenda helps the soul again guide to the ofrenda. The papel picado or the paper mache that you see along the lower part was also said to move around when the soul had arrived to the altar, letting the host know that the soul had arrived. The sugar skulls, I put those in there as a representation of death and the sweetness of life. There's a couple personal items as well that I added. On the left side of the screen, you can see a ceramic doll holding a baby. And that doll is actually hand painted and made in Jalisco, Mexico. And it represents both of the grandmothers in the ofrenda and their devotion to their children, as my husband's grandmother passing away because of complications during birth. As well as you can see on the right side of the ofrenda, there's some maracas for the love of music that all Mexican people have, as well as the shot glasses and the tequila, because everyone knows that Mexicans love to celebrate life with a little tequila. So I really had a great time learning more about El Día de los Muertos. Is something that I had heard about my whole life, but my family never created ofrendas, so it was nice while preparing for this to hear more stories about my grandparents, some of which I never got to meet, and also knowing more about my husband's family. So I thank the DIA for allowing me to honor my family members in this way.
Thank you, Maria. We're so glad that you were able to participate. And now we'll be talking with Leonardo. Leo?
Hey. So this year I just wanted to make an ofrenda honor to great artists regarding in the music industry. My piece is called Two-Spirited Artist or Two-Spirit Artist, which is a term used in the Native American, in some Native American cultures. It talks about a person being two-spirited, more like kind of like the LGBTQ community, someone who is of that community. And these two artists in a specific, one female, one male, they both really fought. They fought to basically get a space, a safe space within the industry, of course, because it is really hard sometimes because of the machismo in Mexico. And yeah, at the end of my ofrenda, I do explain. I do say, will you be able to zoom in, Emily, on the words itself? Just so I could read it. Yeah, it's too small. I won't be able to read it. But basically, just letting people know that this world, especially Central America, could just be a little better if everyone was accepted as how they were, and people like these two artists wouldn't have to go through so much pain to be artistic. And as you can see in the Ofrenda right now, of course, one side is for Chabela Vargas and her items, the things that she liked. On the other side, we have Juan Gabriel's and the items that he had, that he liked, his food. Um, just this week at work, I was actually listening to a song. It came up. It's in my playlist. It's from John Lennon. The song is Imagine, and I realized that his song sent a message, like the ofrenda, my ofrenda, the message that I wanted to send, and it actually encourages listeners to basically imagine a world at peace without any divisions or any kind of judgment. So that's kind of like the message that I wanted to send myself this year to my community.
Thank you. Thank you, Leo, for that message. And now we're going to speak with Pilar. Oh, okay. We've lost Pilar for a moment. Maybe we can introduce our moderator and we'll have a question. And if we get her back, we will definitely. Oh, no, here she is. Hey, Pilar.
Hi. Sorry, I don't know what happened. It said that it shut me off. Sorry.
It's okay. It's the internet. It's COVID-19, right? If you could talk to us about your piece for a little bit.
Sure. So my piece is titled Sisterhood of Resistance, and it honors the First Nations, Latinx, and African diaspora women ancestors that have been the key leaders in the struggle to end oppression. Courageous women like Amy Ashwood Garvey, Angela Jimenez, and Beatrice Medicine of Wakpala. It's a celebration and acknowledgement of all the work, progress, and advancement that came before us in this current time we're in. Marginalized women leaders occupy a central role in movements against oppression and have been for centuries. Today, solidarity is taking place across the country to dismantle the highly organized structural system of group privilege based on skin color that operates at every level of contemporary society. And that's what we know as racism. So we also remember all the women and girls of color who've been murdered in every state, like Breonna Taylor and Vanessa Guillen. We remember that in 2016, of the over 5,712 missing and murdered Indigenous women who were reported as such, only 114 were actually recorded into DOJ data. Women of color are still targets of harrowing violence and terror. This work is also in memory of Indigenous women and girls who disappeared at the hands of Christopher Columbus. Many people aren't aware that he's the first recorded sex trafficker of the Americas. So red throughout my piece symbolizes their pain and suffering. The amate paper, if you can zoom in on the signs, the missing, murdered Indigenous women, say her name, and violence against Latinx women. That paper is called amate, and it is still made in the ancient tradition of the Mexica people, which are what we call Aztecs, by the current Otomi people. They still make that paper in the exact same tradition. So I thought it was really important to utilize that paper for these hashtags, because the Mexica, the Aztec used this paper to write all their codexes, which filled their monstrous libraries, which people also don't know were burned by the colonialists. But also there are 3 plates below, and they hold items that are important and representative of these groups of women, like certain shells, certain beadwork, certain stones, that are important to cultures. And there's a really antique microphone from the 60s that women from the Black Panther Party used to utilize. A lot of people don't know also that the Black Panther Party at the peak of its movement was 70% women members. And that's why they were vilified, because they were, you know, active in 68 cities across the US and doing a lot of really good work. Like they created the first breakfast program in California. And the gold symbolizes throughout the slavery that all three groups of women have suffered and continue to suffer in the sense that prostitution and sexual slavery still has not ended. And 80% of all prostituted people are marginalized women and girls. And slavery exists heavily, like over 75% within that world. But this piece in general is it's intent. It's an intent of ceremony, you know, to show solidarity and sisterhood among those who want to dismantle settler colonialism and systems of oppression like racism, misogyny, classism, in order to usher in a radical shift towards a sustainable future for everyone. The flowers represent life. Thank you.
Thank you, Pilar. Now I'll introduce our moderator, Maria Elena Rodriguez, who is a historian and author, and she particularly focuses on Detroit's own Mexican town. Maria Elena? Oh, okay, we're having some connection issues, so I will go over to our comments. So this isn't a comment that's come through our. Once again, if you're listening, you have a question, feel free to go ahead and use the comment function on Facebook or YouTube. We'll see your comments here, and we can ask the artist directly. Pilar, one of our protection services officers, actually asked this question of me a few weeks ago. She was asking about the meaning of the hand over the mouth in the center figure of your painting. Could you talk about that for a little bit?
Sure. It's something that arose out of the movement within the Indigenous community, the First Nations communities. Women, many people don't realize just how rampant that community is targeted in terms of women and girls. So they go missing, they disappear in crazy numbers, like thousands and thousands and thousands every year. And because of misogyny and racism, the Department of Justice really doesn't do very much. Like I said, they don't. They've only like in 2016 they recorded like 114 of the missing women when there were like over 5,712 reported. But yeah, it's part of a movement to show. I guess to create awareness for the fact that women and girls from that culture are heavily targeted and they just disappear. And you know, it's the sex trade that facilitates a lot of this. So it's called Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and Girls Movement, and it's representative of that.
Okay, thank you. Another question that I received as I was just working in the galleries. Oh, I'm sorry. We'll ask Sonia's question here. What is the significance? I think this is to you again, Pilar. What is the significance of the two golden hearts at each side of the golden calaver?
Oh, so yeah, in Mexican culture, we make these pieces. It actually, I mean, if people were able to touch them, they actually open up. And inside we can place pictures of our loved ones, kind of like what do we call those? Like not a brooch, but just like people will wear like a you know, those like little necklaces, and you'll have like a little heart and or whatever, it'll be a circle or oval or something, like some memorabilia goes inside of it. So we do the same with these pieces, and we place them in our homes. You can hang them on the wall, you can do anything like that, but I place them in sorry, on the piece next to the gold skull to represent, you know, like the enslavement and the suffering that all these groups of women have suffered, and how their, I don't know how to explain it, but like their fortitude, um, you know, their love and their fortitude has really helped women survive and push and demand justice like all this time for centuries. I think so. I don't know if that makes sense.
Okay. I think you've actually seen those hearts in a few of the altars, I believe. Maria, did you have some in yours?
I had one. Also
Yeah.
representing what Pilar said about just memory and holding those loved ones in your heart and close to you.
Okay, I have one additional question that I received from just working in the galleries, and this one's for Leo. Leo, could you talk about the audio component of your piece? Because it's definitely a very powerful part of your piece that unfortunately our online viewers cannot experience. But you're in the exhibition, you come in and you hear this music. Could you talk about putting that playlist together and what you wanted to share with that?
Yeah, so I myself, I didn't grow up listening to both of these artists. Maybe Juan Gabriel a little bit, but Chabela is more of an uh, artist from older generations, you may say. But of course, since they're artists, I did wanted to include their music, and it was honestly for me very nice to put that playlist together, exploring some of their best songs. So basically, just wanted to include their music so you can have more of a feeling to the ofrenda. Kind of like be more. Not just only seeing the art or the food that they liked, but also with their ears, listening with their ears, having some type of sense. Is that how you would say it? Be more interactive, basically, with the ofrenda,
Yeah.
not just visually, but listening as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, it definitely is very impactful. When you first walk into the gallery there, you start to hear the music and it kind of sets the mood for the whole exhibition. So thank you so much for including that. And then I'll have one final question for this program, and it'll be for Hugo. Hugo, on the wall in your piece, there are two poems. Could you talk
Yes.
a little bit about the poems and how that fits in with your piece and the meaning for those?
Yes. I told you we are a team. And one of my partners, Lauren Rancho, she's a writer. She's a wonderful writer. And every year she writes these poems in English, and we translate to Spanish and try to do it properly. And every year she made this, especially with the theme that we are talking about and we are working. So it's really, really nice that the work that she makes with the poems, with the writing.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us and giving us a little bit more information about your altars. For our viewers at home, you saw us use the online exhibition as the artists were talking. I was kind of moving through so that you could focus in and get more details on each altar. If you have been able to take a look at that, we have a few questions. My colleague Erin from our evaluations department. Is Erin here? Right. Sorry, guys, we've been having some connection issues.
Family.
Nope. Okay. Well, anyways, if you are watching, if you had the opportunity to view our program. Oh, no, there she is. Hey, Erin.
Family.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
So Erin has a few questions for our viewers at home about the online exhibition.
Thanks, Emily. So we really appreciate everybody participating and joining in this conversation and hearing about the work these artists have made. And this is the first time we've ever done a virtual exhibition, so we want to hear from you about the experience. So I just have a couple questions, and what you can do is you can type your responses into the chat, and then I'll be able to record them and take them back to the exhibition design team to let them know what's working and what could be improved. So what we want to know is whether you used the online exhibition, what motivated you to use the exhibition, like why did you decide you wanted to go in there and see this virtual exhibition of Ofrendas, and whether it met your expectations. So was it sort of definitely exactly what you were expecting to see when you clicked open to a virtual exhibition, or was it really different? So let me know in the chat what worked, what didn't, what you liked, what you didn't like so much, and we'll take it back to the design team and let them know. And thanks again for your feedback. We really appreciate it. Thanks, Emily.
Yeah, thank you, Erin, and thanks to all of our viewers at home. We'll have one final session for the day, starting at 3 p.m. We'll hear from our 4 remaining artists for the altars. So if you haven't yet been able to view the exhibition, hop on over to our website and check it out online. If you want to come see in person, it's on view through next Sunday, November 8th. So we hope to see you there or here again at 3 o'clock. So bye and thank you.